life's a game. But the problem is you've been too busy playing on easy mode, waiting for all the level ups to just come your way. But I genuinely think one of the biggest lies you've ever been told is that life's serious. Not important, but serious. Because there's a big difference. Because when you take life too seriously, you start to become afraid. Afraid to fail. Afraid to look stupid. Afraid to even make a start. Afraid to take risks. Afraid to become who you actually want to be. And then before you know it, you're living as a tiny version of yourself because you're too busy trying not to lose. So here's the real problem with that. You weren't put here not to lose. You were put here to play, to level up, to experiences the different parts of life. And most people have forgotten that. Nearly all the men that come to work with me have forgotten that. They're taking life too seriously. So I want you to imagine if life is a video game. You woke up tomorrow and a screen appears saying body 43%, mind 52%, money 38%, confidence 28%, energy 35%. Would you cry about it? Or would you spend the next 6 months overthinking about it? Or would you sit there and start blaming your childhood and trauma? No, you wouldn't. You'd simply look at the numbers on the screen and think to yourself, right, it's time to level up. That's it, no drama, no victim mentality, no emotional attachment, you just take raw action. But for some people, when it comes to real life, you do the complete opposite. You make your problems your identity. You wear your struggles like it's some kind of personality trait and you tell yourself mad stories. And those stories eventually become your prison. But here's the harsh truth. You're far more free than you think you are. Because you can change your body. You can improve your mindset. You can change your finances so your money starts bringing you enjoyment instead of constant stress, and you can completely reinvent yourself. Yet most people never do. Why is that? Because they're addicted to certainty. They'd rather stay miserable in a familiar environment than risk becoming powerful in an unfamiliar one. That's absolutely insane to me, and it probably is to you if you think about it. So let's be honest for a second. You already know what needs improving. You already know where in your life that you're cutting corners. You already know exactly where you're playing small. You know exactly which habits are killing your confidence, draining your time and your energy. You know what hard conversations you've been avoiding. You know exactly where you're wasting your time. You already know the issue isn't awareness, the issue is courage. Because making a real change requires responsibility, and responsibility means that you can no longer blame anybody else for all this. A few years ago, I was a completely different person to the man that I am now. I was still the same person at my core. I had different habits, different standards, different mindset. And if you'd have told me who I'd be today, I literally would not have believed you, because I was an addict then. I was in debt, I hated my life, and I wouldn't believe you, not because it was impossible, but because I was thinking way too small. And that's what happens when you lose your perspective. You stop being able to see possibilities and you start to only be able to see limitations. You stop asking, what if it works? And then you start asking yourself, what if it doesn't work? What if I look silly? What if other people laugh at me? And that's how you start to slowly kill off your potential. So let me give you a paradigm shift that completely changed my life. Stop focusing on outcomes and start focusing on levels. Every day, ask yourself, how do I level up my body? Ask yourself, how do I level up my mind? Ask yourself, how do I level up my money? How can I make my money work for me? So instead of I'm constantly swapping my time for money. Ask yourself those questions. They're simple, but they're not easy. Let me say that again, simple, but not easy, because the game isn't won in one huge breakthrough moment. It's won through all the tiny little upgrades, one workout, one sales call, one piece of content, one difficult conversation, one healthy meal, one early morning, one promise that you kept to yourself, then another, then another, then another, days, weeks, months, and all of a sudden it starts to compound. And then the momentum takes over. Because people always ask me how confidence is built. But the answer isn't glamorous, it's actually boring. Confidence comes from evidence, and evidence comes from action. That's it. You don't think your way into confidence, you act your way into confidence. So every time you do what you said you'd do, your confidence starts to increase bit by bit and the momentum starts building up. But every time you break your word to yourself, your confidence starts to decrease. That's why so many people feel weak. It's not because they are weak, and it's not because you're weak, it's because you've stopped trusting yourself, because you've stopped keeping all those little promises to yourself. Let's talk about money for a second, because everybody I speak to say they want more money, but more money usually isn't the problem. The person wanting it is because they've got a lack of focus. Should I say you've got a lack of focus, a lack of consistency, a lack of courage, and most importantly, a lack of standards. Because you can't create extraordinary results with average habits. It just doesn't work like that. Because the marketplace rewards value, and value comes from growth. So the more you grow, the more you earn. It's as simple as that, because the more you grow, the more value you've got, and then you become more valuable. So let's talk about your body now, because you know I'm all about body, mind, money, because your body tells the truth. You can lie to your Instagram, you can Photoshop your pictures, you can lie to all your mates, you can lie to your missus and to your family, but you can't lie to your body. Your body is a reflection of your daily standards. How you look, how you feel, your energy levels. If you feel stiff as a board, that's why getting stronger physically changes absolutely everything. Not just because of the aesthetics, because every workout that you do becomes proof you're capable of doing difficult things. And that proof spills out into every single area of your life. And your mind, that's the control center of it all. If your mind's full of noise, then your life will feel like it's full of noise too. If your mind's focused, your life can then become focused. It's as simple as that. Because you're not tired, you're distracted. Let me say that again. You're not tired, you're distracted. There's a big difference, because constant stimulation has destroyed your ability to think clearly. You're consuming so much information that you never create anything meaningful, and then you wonder why you're stuck. But here's the real message that I want you to take away from this video today. Life is a game that's supposed to be played, not endured and struggled through. You're supposed to build, create, explore, challenge yourself, do hard things that you enjoy, level up, take risks, dream bigger and become more. Yet somewhere along the way, you've convinced yourself that survival was enough. But it's not for you, because if you're watching this, you already know you're capable of more, doing more, being more, having more. That's why this video is making you uncomfortable, but you've stayed with it for long enough. Because deep down, you know you've been settling, and you know you've got so many more levels to work through. Imagine you seeing yourself 5 years on from now, but with the same habits, same excuses, same fears, same routines, and nothing's changed. How would that feel? Now I want you to imagine 5 years of consistent upgrades, body getting stronger, mind getting sharper, money growing and compounding, confidence rising, relationships improving, standards increasing. Which future are you moving towards right now? Not talking about, but moving towards, because those are two very, very, very different things. Because the game isn't about being perfect. The game is about progress. The game's about becoming. The game's about leveling up. The game's about refusing to die while you've still got your potential inside of you, because I know you've got so much more to experience and give to the world. And that's exactly why I created the Alignment Audit. It takes less than 10 minutes and it's free, and it will show you exactly where you're at across body, mind and money, and what you need to do to get momentum going in that area again. So click the link in the description and go and do the Alignment Audit. It shows you exactly where you're out of alignment across those three areas: body, mind, money. No guessing, exact answers, percentages, exactly where you're out of alignment, and then actions you need to do to get going and get that momentum building again. Because clarity creates action, action creates momentum, and momentum will change your life. So if you're serious about becoming the person that you know you're capable of being, click the link in the description and go and do the Alignment Audit, because your next level isn't waiting for more motivation. It's waiting for you to make a decision. So what's that decision going to be? I'll see you in the next video, but don't bother clicking on the next video if you're not going to go and do the Alignment Audit. And if you see the answers there and you want to really go deep with it, book a power hour breakthrough call with me, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do to get your life moving forward again. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.